Hi, welcome back. This is CMG-MathSpace. Step boldly into the math space. This is core math for SHS students, and we are at the moment treating factorization. We have dealt with the method 1, that's when we do by common factor. The second method is by grouping. We have been introduced to the two, and we want to have more examples on how things are done practically, not just following the book, right? So here, I told you the other time that we were following the book, and whatever book the book said, we followed to get the same answer. But in a situation whereby you want to have your own way around the question, but you have to also have the same answer at the end of the show, is my concern now. The understanding, the concept is key. Then from the understanding, we can do practicals. So let's look at this question first. After that, I will do my own styling, and let's see if you get the same answer. So here we have been asked, example 3, that factorize completely 2AP plus AQ minus BQ minus 2BP. Right, now what you learned from the traditional method, the orthodox method, was that you group the first two items to give you the binomial, the first binomial, and then the other one too, you group them to get a binomial. But did I really explain to you why it's so and not the other way around? Or maybe when you choose your own items or your own terms for the grouping, I didn't tell you, because I wanted you to understand the orthodox way. Then from there we deal our own way, we did it in our own way. So let's follow the orthodox way. Now, grouping the first two terms and then the last two terms, you have what? APQ plus AQ minus BQ minus 2BQ. So grouping the two, we have this, which means that 2AP plus AQ. That's what we have. Then we have this one minus, now be checking the signs, minus into BQ plus 2BP, right? The reason why this sign was here, because we could see that negative BP is here and then negative also. So in the brackets, we just, this is not our main concern, like what I was saying. We are just following the orthodox way, but sometimes you still have to be show your ability to manipulate the signs, the positive and negative signs in equations. So the reason is we brought negative here, and then into bracket, this supposed to be negative BQ is now positive BQ. Then this negative also is now plus. Why? At the end of the show, if you should multiply it back or remove the bracket, you should get the negative BQ, and then this. So that's the whole concept. So it's assumed that there's one here. Every in front of the bracket, if there's no visible number, it's assumed that there's one there. So negative 1 times BQ will be what? Negative BQ. So that is it. Now negative 1 times 2BP will be what? Negative 2BP. So we multiply back to get to ascertain or to determine, to verify. So that's what we did here. I don't know if you got this. You can pause the video and simulate what I said. Yes, we were trying to deal with these negatives. This negative, that's why we brought the negative out, and assuming that 1 is here. In fact, it's not only assuming, it is actually there, but this is imaginary. So now it becomes negative 1 times BQ. Oh, why am I doing this? BQ. So that will be negative BQ. Then this negative 1 times positive 2BQ, BP. Yes, we'll give it this. So that's the whole thing. Now let's go on. Now going back to the common factor. If we have A, right, 2AP, the constant here is the only thing here. We don't have constant here. So hence, we have only 2A here. So we just leave the 2 inside. Right, now we have A here, A is here. So A is here, bring A out, common factor. Now if A is out, we will be left with 2P. Now, if A is out, we'll be left with Q, because Q is not appearing here, so hence it remains. P is not appearing here, hence it remains. 2 is not appearing here, hence it remains. So the only common was AA, so A goes out. The same thing is applicable to what? You have B, you have B here, so B goes out. The rest remain. So now you understand the concept. So when we are done, you make sure that at the end of the show, or some way through the calculation, you should have something similar. In fact, identical. In the bracket, we have Q plus 2P, which is the same thing, 2P plus Q. And this is commutative. It's the same thing here, with P plus 2P, Q plus 2P, and then 2P plus Q. The same thing that we are getting. So now if they are the same, you bring it down as one bracket term, right? And then the other one will be A. You take the coefficients and group them. So we have A minus B. So this is it. This is what I was talking about. Now, the main point of what I was saying is when we are regrouping, because now we understand the chain. So stay tuned. Now, let's look at something. It's the same expression that you were given, 2AP plus AQ minus BQ minus 2BQ. Now, in their example, we grouped the items like the way we were given, orthodox, following the orthodox way. So we grouped the first two terms and then these two terms. Now you understand, you remember the reason why, how we dealt with the negatives, right? So it's not always the same case. The reason why they did that is for them making sure from the onset that there was a common factor, right? There was a common factor. So the common factor could be the constant and at the same time or the letters. So that is how the whole concept is all about. So they will do the grouping according to how they will be able to find a common factor when they have to be bringing the figure or the letter outside that bracket. So it's not like a fixed way of doing it. If it's possible, do it, right? At the end of the show, you get the same answer if you did the correct thing. So that is how it is. So instead of them grouping this and this, grouping this and this, I didn't do it that way. I look for another term or terms that I could get a common factor among them. So now we have 2AP, sorry. Now if you look at this, AP, where can I find any of the letters AP appearing again? I can see it here. What is the P? What is the P? What is the P? I'm sure I didn't write this in now. Wait a minute. Yes, right. I didn't write the expression, the initial expression very well. So it was rather negative 2BP. So let's check that. This is the expression, right? So look at it. A 2AP plus AQ minus BQ minus 2BP, right? And I did it what? Q initially. So now that we have it, this is it. Okay. So now let's continue with that thought. So now that we have this, I look at, if I have 2AP, I can still see something P here. There's a P here. So it means that I could group this and this instead of just going with this one, because this one, they also did this because they saw A here. That's why they did it that way. And then coming to this, they saw B was here and B was here. That's why they did the grouping that way. I don't want to follow that orthodox way. I went back to take this and then this. So now this is my group, hence my grouping, 2AP minus 2BP. So I will see the common factor here. So 2 is here, 2 is here, 2 comes out. Now P is here, P is here, P comes out. So when they are left, I'm left with A minus B. The same thing comes here. If I see Q here, Q here, Q comes out, leaving A minus B. The same thing here. So you see the calculation. If the same thing is here, now I group it again. I take the common thing. This one, the bracket here is the same thing. So I take it out. Now I'll be left with A, P, then plus Q. The same thing. Right. Now let's prove that. This is what they also had. Is that not it? The same thing here.